Nvidia, I mean, few stocks more important to the market story over the last few years. Nice recovery underway. How do you assess things big picture for Nvidia?
Yeah, nice to be with you. Happy Friday. I think, Nvidia nearing all-time highs. The market's at all-time highs. So, that's one starting point. I don't think there's anything too idiosyncratic about Nvidia right now. I think, look, this is a stock where the fundamentals remain extremely strong. We've, over the last few months, gotten some very positive data points for the AI space as a whole. And those data points coming from a bunch of NVIDIA's customers that are reporting really unprecedented revenue growth at scale. And NVIDIA is a stock where, the valuation is very, very reasonable. And I think from here, the biggest hurdle I see is just that the business has become so big that, we're kind of facing law of large numbers, and growth from here likely just mechanically normalizes. But I think the fundamentals are really strong, valuation's reasonable, very healthy AI ecosystem. So, yeah, it makes sense that it's approaching all-time highs.
And so, John, how do you factor in sort of how it's almost like the market has been rolling through this space of AI infrastructure and finding sort of the new area that it prefers? I mean, it was memory for a little bit. Certainly, Nvidia early days was a big part of that story alongside Broadcom and AMD. But now it's almost like these infrastructure as a service stocks have sort of taken center stage. The CoreWeaves, the Applied Digitals, those type of names. Is it kind of healthy for Nvidia that maybe it's not the far and away leader performance-wise as it's scaled up and become the world's most valuable company?
Well, first, to be clear, Nvidia is still supply constrained. They are still their revenue is still a function of how fast their supply chain can crank out product. So there's really no demand problem for Nvidia. There's really no difference in the supply-demand equation for an Nvidia compared to some of those other names that you just referenced. And I would just say for Nvidia, trees don't grow to the sky. I mean, this is a company that it's over 4 trillion market cap. Over the last 1, 3, 5, 7, 10-year time frames, I think it's probably outperformed, almost certainly outperformed any of the stocks that you just mentioned. And the market has looked across the supply chain and found different bottlenecks, and those stocks can go through periods of particular strength. But I think, Nvidia, a healthy Nvidia is good for the whole ecosystem. And I would say conversely, I think it's going to be hard for any of those other stocks to not work if Nvidia is not working too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the biggest surprise, I think, has been how resilient the equity market's been when it kind of lost some of these names like Nvidia for just a little bit. But as quickly, Tom, we're going inside out as promised. You're looking at an example trade in Nvidia. Maybe only Tesla rivals it in terms of liquidity. It's certainly an interesting name.
Yep, in the biggest market cap. And remember, this stock had been struggling. It had been capped out at about $195. We've finally broken through that this week. The stock's up 15% this month, up over 90% over the last 12 months. And remember, it's the biggest component within the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, which are hitting all-time highs. Now, they report earnings on the 20th of May. So I want to avoid that while still taking a bullish outlook here on an example trade using the option market to kind of create some leverage. Implied volatility levels have been falling as the stocks recovered here. The IV percentile rank below the 20% level, so it's in the bottom 1/5 of what we've seen implied volatility levels over the last 52 weeks. So that sets up what I'm going to kind of go over here, and that's a bullish call vertical. I went out to the May 15th monthly options, so 28 days to expiration. So I got 4 weeks. I avoid the earnings event on the 20th, but then take advantage of a potential move to the upside or a further move to the upside into that report. So I'm going to buy the 200 strike call. It's basically at the money. And then against it, to offset some of the costs, sell the 220 strike call. And that would be a new fresh all-time high. The all-time high is 212. And if you think it's going to move higher from these levels, this takes advantage of it. You're going to pay a debit for roughly about $6.50. That's going to be your risk, $650 per spread. and that can expand to $20 if you get above that 220 level over the next 28 days. The break even on this one, 206.50 to the upside, that's only 3% above the current share price in there. So on a percentage basis over the next 4 weeks, you don't need that big of a move. Now, just to get to 220, that's about, another 10% basically above the current share price. So if you think the stock's going to rise over the next 4 weeks into that earnings event while avoiding that earnings event, taking advantage of low implied volatility, this will do it. And because you're buying a directional bias vertical here, Alex, it gives you that flexibility as far as trade management. I don't have to wait 28 days to get out of this position. If we start hitting 210, maybe all-time highs, this thing starts to expand, you can close a portion of it or all of it early if the market's open.
Nvidia, which is currently trading at $200.68, is a key player in the development of AI hardware and software, as evidenced by the stock's extremely high 3- and 5-year gains. Shares have increased by 6.9% in the last week, 16.8% in the last month, 6.8% so far this year, and 98.8% over the previous year. These numbers contribute to the explanation of why current and prospective shareholders keep a careful eye on Huang's remarks regarding capital allocation. Huang's comments regarding U.S.-China policy, supplier stakes, and lost AI investments provide a better understanding of Nvidia's perspective on its place in the AI ecosystem. These disclosures may be useful to investors following Nvidia in determining how the firm will handle supply chain security, growth prospects, and geopolitical risk in the years to come. Huang's acknowledgement that Nvidia passed up early opportunities to invest in OpenAI and Anthropic before deciding to accumulate nearly $40 billion in exposure across the two offers insight into the management's perspective on regret and upside. Huang is now touting a AI foundation portfolio that distributes Nvidia's investments among numerous model and infrastructure companies rather than pursuing a single flagship brand. This strategy resembles using the balance sheet to support Nvidia's GPU, networking, and AI factory franchises rather than traditional venture investing when combined with multi-billion-dollar stakes in suppliers like Marvell, Lumentum, and Coherent. His public opposition to stringent U.S.-China export restrictions, inventory charges, and the exclusion of China data center revenue projections further demonstrates the close relationship between policy risk and future demand. As a shareholder or prospective investor, this indicates that supply security, geopolitics, and capital allocation are all being integrated into the central AI thesis, rather than being viewed as ancillary concerns. This is place in the story of Nvidia. Huang's supplier ownership investments and AI foundation portfolio align with the current narrative that Nvidia wants to be at the forefront of AI infrastructure, from processors and optics to cloud partners and model providers. Since returns will also depend on how these partners perform and how regulators handle cross-ownership, large stakes in third-party AI and semiconductor businesses might cast doubt on the notion that Nvidia's growth story is solely about selling its own hardware and services. Large equity investments in suppliers and model companies could accentuate both benefit and loss if conditions change. But this is not fully included in the narrative, which already addresses U.S.-China export restrictions and client-bespoke silicon. From this point on, it's important to keep an eye on how Nvidia manages and reports the returns on its supplier and AI investments, as well as whether these positions increase relative to total assets. Keep an eye out for any modifications to U.S.-China export regulations and the frequency with which management cites China in revising guidelines. Additionally, it is helpful to monitor the reactions of competitors like AMD, Intel, and major cloud providers, as well as any change toward alternate supply chains that lessen dependence on Nvidia in areas with the largest equity linkages. Nvidia is at the front of the artificial intelligence AI revolution, with a market valuation close to $5 trillion. Nvidia has a plausible route to a $20 trillion valuation by 2030, per a recent research by Beth Kindig of the IO Fund. Kindig identifies secular changes that result in trillion-dollar winners by combining meticulous financial modeling with direct knowledge of the entire AI stack. Her prediction for Nvidia looks at the fundamental economics of AI infrastructure and goes beyond the headline sales of graphics processing units, GPUs. A strong entry point is being created by Nvidia's value reset, In contrast to rivals like Broadcom or Advanced Micro Devices, Nvidia is currently trading well below its 3-year average price-to-sales ratio, PS. Given CEO Jensen Huang's regular upward revisions to revenue and profit projections, this discount is unusual. The simplest explanation is that investors continue to have doubts about the company's capacity to gain additional market share as hyperscalers' expenditure on AI infrastructure picks up speed. Kindig adjusts Nvidia's current PS multiple of 22 to a predicted annual future data center target of $930 billion in order to meet the $20 trillion estimate. Her concept clearly illustrates the company's growing position beyond GPUs and trend toward constructing end-to-end AI systems, given that this is nearly 5 times its trailing 12-month data center sales. The revenue outlook is very obvious in the near future. Huang recently directed the Blackwell and Rubin chip designs to generate a total of $1 trillion in sales by 2027. Analyst consensus estimates have been raised in light of this. Forecasts for fiscal 2031 have increased to $758 billion, about twice as much as Wall Street anticipated a year ago, while outlooks for fiscal 2028 are currently at $480 billion. These changes reflect increased income diversification from networking and other platform services, as well as quickening capital expenditure cycles across AI hyperscalers. Addressable market growth will be made possible by the expansion of AI inference. Inference, or the process by which an AI model uses knowledge it already knows to create assumptions, is the hidden multiplier for Nvidia's growth during the remainder of the decade. Demand changes from merely training models to real-time, high-throughput intelligence as LLM use volume increases and agentic systems spread. Instead of focusing on isolated chip performances, the inference era is designed for system-wide efficiency. Nvidia's next-generation architecture's improvements in power and processing efficiency should result in premium pricing and open up completely new revenue sources. The chipmaker's ubiquity across changing workloads, along with its CUDA software system and expanding networking dominance, guarantees that it maintains a significant role inside enterprise infrastructure budgets, even if custom silicon designs gain incremental market share. Astute investors see that soaring inference needs do not weaken the GPU market, but rather increase Nvidia's total addressable opportunity by driving increased utilization and accelerated capital expenditures, which are supplemented by recurring software revenue. The key to reaching a $20 trillion valuation in the era of AI infrastructure is Nvidia's capacity to monetize tokens at scale while also providing superior unit economics per megawatt. The majority of people would not consider Nvidia and Amazon to be in the same competitive environment. At first glance, Amazon appears to be an investment in e-commerce, whereas Nvidia is a wager on the ongoing development of artificial intelligence, AI infrastructure. That isn't entirely accurate, though. With Amazon Web Services, AWS, Amazon has a thriving cloud computing division. It has its own bespoke AI processors, whose industry is booming, in addition to NVIDIA chips for training and inference. In a recent shareholder letter, Amazon made multiple jabs at NVIDIA, highlighting the superiority of Amazon's bespoke AI processors over NVIDIA's. As a result, some investors could be concerned that NVIDIA will lose a sizable portion of the market to Amazon. Is Amazon now a better stock to own than NVIDIA? Let's investigate. Amazon revealed a number of interesting statistics on their bespoke chips in a recent shareholder letter. They began by talking about Graviton, the company's first bespoke chips. Prior to 2018, cloud computing was dominated by Intel CPUs. But as soon as Amazon unveiled its own CPU, Graviton, which was 40% more affordable than Intel's chips, it took the lead. According to Amazon, the AI market will follow suit. Its Trainium 2 chip is almost completely sold out and provides 30% more affordable performance than GPUs. Trainium 3, the following version, has considerably higher performance and is almost entirely accounted for. It only started working at the beginning of this year. Additionally, Trainium 4, which will go into service in 18 months, is almost completely sold out. It is obvious that Amazon might gain more market share from conventional GPU-based training if it could expand its production capacity. But Amazon isn't abandoning NVIDIA either. Additionally, it stated that Amazon will remain the greatest location to run NVIDIA chips. Why? Simple. Because Nvidia's production capacity is significantly higher than Amazon's, it must continue to have a positive relationship with Nvidia to avoid running out of resources and losing customers to rival companies. Some customers would prefer to utilize Nvidia's chips, which is another reason Amazon needs to maintain them in stock. Trainium chips might be more cost-effective, but that isn't the only benefit. Amazon has the right to raise prices to irrational levels if only one customer uses their Trainium chips. The client must pay Amazon what they desire because their workload is locked into a unique chip architecture, making it hard to switch. If companies use Nvidia's architecture for their workloads, they can either build their own data center utilizing the same chip family or move to another cloud provider's services. Customers have that freedom, but I'm not saying these solutions are inexpensive or simple. So, does the fact that Amazon is making chips with more affordable performance mean the end of the world for Nvidia? Not in my opinion. This rivalry guarantees that Nvidia doesn't rely on its previous achievements and keeps it inventive. Investors in Nvidia should be cognizant of the situation because a decline in growth rates might not be due to a slowdown in the development of AI, but rather to a loss of market share. But thus far, we haven't noticed any such indications. The growth rates of Nvidia continue to accelerate. In actuality, the demand for AI processing power is so great that AI hyperscalers are prepared to accept any extra capacity they can obtain, whether it be from Nvidia or proprietary Amazon chips. Nvidia's growth rates accelerate as a result of this trend. Its growth rate was 73% in Q4. Wall Street experts predict growth of 79% and 85% in Q1 and Q2. That is just amazing and demonstrates the power of Nvidia. In my opinion, Nvidia will be okay in the long run. Custom chips and Nvidia's more commercialized hardware will probably be used in the future. One of the top generative AI firms, Anthropic, is already demonstrating this. Its model is trained on a variety of chips, including those made by Nvidia, Amazon, and Google, an Alphabet subsidiary. Many businesses will probably follow that route, which will result in several winners in the AI chip market. Therefore, this is a sign of good competition rather than checkmate. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.